Look at Frankie. Put the camera on Frankie. You can't? I am live. Hey, and welcome to our watch party today, everyone at Bud Dairy. I'm Michael Arace from thedisrespected.com. Check out my website. We got a QR code here. Come see Mrs. Arace. We have some, she's over here to my left. We've got some Team USA raffle items to raffle off. We're also, we haven't switched to PA yet, Bridge. I'm live on the CBus Sports. Hello, everybody. Frankie Haydick just walked in. The roars went up, and it hasn't occurred to him yet that he should be sitting here next to his Modelo. But
we gotta make a move. You're too close to the speaker. So we're gonna come this way. We're getting feedback. You're gonna have to change that one too.
a little too close to the speaker.
Tell everybody what we're doing, Mike.
Well, today we have at least one very special guest, Frankie Haydick, for this live podcast edition of the Crewcible podcast, a production of Disrespected Media, LLC. I'm Michael Arace, proprietor of said company. Visit my website, thedisrespected.com. I focus on mostly Blue Jackets and Crew, which is much of my bailiwick during my 26 years at the Columbus Dispatch before I hung on a shingle in September. We're adjusting cameras and speakers here to cut down on the feedback. This show is being very professionally produced by Kevin Rauch and Alex Rauch of cbusports.com. It's also streaming live at cbusports.com. And check out Kevin's website. It's hyper-focused on local sports. It's non-subscription, unlike the disrespected.com, although I must say my paywall is very low. Check it out. I write 4 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday's free. The other 3 days are paywalled. Content's excellent, if I do say so myself. Today at the disrespected.com, we had my executive producer and first team video coach analyst, Timothy Arace, break down the 5 reasons why Australia can give the United States so many problems today. And that's why we're here, not to talk about all the problems that the Australians can present to the United States, especially given the fact that it was just announced about a half hour ago that Christian Pulisic is out with a calf injury. That changes things, especially given that Australia has such speed on the flanks and up front. But check out the latest at thedisrespected.com. Everything you want to know to warm up for today's USA-Australia game is there. Technical breakdown. We have a Q&A with Max Arston, a U.S. men's national team player who's also a member of the Columbus Crew. We have a interview I did in the most recent episode of the Crewcible podcast with Greg Berhalter, the former U.S. men's national coach, now the coach of the Chicago Fire, whose son Seb presumably will step in for Christian Pulisic today on that left flank or at midfield. So my podcasts are The Crewcible, which is focused on the Crew, and Cannonballs, which is Blue Jackets centric. Aaron Portzline, the mayor of Jacksonville from The Athletic, is a frequent guest of on Cannonballs, and one of my oldest friends, and he joins me earlier this week in the latest edition of Cannonballs. So go to check that out. You can find that at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, other podcast platforms, including Outcast and a couple others I can't recall. And it's also available on my YouTube channel. We tape all the pods. Today's our first foray into live streaming in the capable hands of Kevin Rauch of cbussports.com, which, as I said, is where you can find the live stream. We'll have the recording of this podcast up on my YouTube channel and at cbussports.com in the very near future. So look for that. Thanks for joining us if you're live streaming, all 2 of you or 3 of you for the live stream. Much appreciated. We value everyone. No question about that. And when it's just 2 or 3 of you, you're even more valuable. Frankie, you can come up any time now if you'd like. As I mentioned earlier, Frankie walked into Roars and is now working the crowd. Frankie Haydock, who played in 2 World Cups and made a 3rd World Cup team, playing on a torn ACL. And as soon as he made the team, which was his goal, off the surgery he went and he missed the World Cup in 2006. Yo, Frankie. Frankie, I got your beer up here. It's not working yet. He's just too into it. Yeah, get Frankie up here. Here he comes, folks. Now, we're hoping, Frankie, this side here, we're hoping that we're hoping Duncan Ogden will...
what do we got? What type of beer we got here?
That's a Modelo.
Oh, nice, dude. My freaking, that's my go-to. Yep.
Yeah, that was, just give a wave to Owen. That was over there, Frankie. Give a wave to Owen. He picked out the Modelo. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, Owen.
And thank you to everyone here at Bud
I can
Dairy.
barely hear you over here.
He can turn you up. Just say.
Can you turn me up? Whoa. Yep. Little bit.
1, 2, 3. Speak right into the microphone, Frankie.
Hello. Perfect. That's good. A little bit.
Frankie, let's
Maybe
get
a little bit low. Maybe like 2 or lower. There you go.
All right, perfect. Are you done working the crowd, Frankie?
Yeah, totally. No, we were just out there talking to Morgan. Morgan was out there, all the boys, just hanging out.
That'd be Morgan Hughes of the Supporter Supply Company, who has supplied the merch that we're going to be raffling off during the Team USA Australia game here in about an hour.
We got merch too, dude?
Oh, we got merch.
Oh, wow, dude.
There's some number 2 jerseys over there as well.
Wow, you've changed your game, dude. You're stepping it up, huh?
Well, I figured since I opened a tab for you, the least you could do is bid on one of your shirts.
Yeah, totally. No, that's dude. I'll bid over $1 million pesos for that. That's probably like 4 cents.
We take marks.
Okay.
From
Deutsche
buyers,
Marks.
yeah.
Deutsche Marks, dude.
Frankie Haydock here to my right, a crew legend, a U.S. men's national team legend. I don't think it's stretching things to say either. 85 caps for the national team, 7 goals. Played in the 98, 2002 World Cups. It's one of the crazier stories you hear, although from Frankie, there's no ceiling on crazy. But he actually played on a torn ACL through qualifying in 2006 because it was his goal to make the U.S. World Cup team. And once Bruce Arena named him to that team in 2006, Frankie went straight to surgery and missed that World Cup.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was a buzzkill, but you know what? I just had to know I was going to make the team, dude. I made it, and I had to play in that torn ACL. They were all the coaches were there. It was a final game right before they were picking the roster, and you know that's when it happened. But I didn't care, dude. I was like, I just got to switch my mind to like, you know, do something different. Like you're not hurt, but you are. But I wasn't.
Now, how do you play on a torn ACL? I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bob Marley once played on a torn ACL.
Yeah, totally. He was in the same mind frame. You know how you do it? The worst part is going backwards. When the person's like, you're going against a guy and he's trying to go at you, your leg just keeps buckling in. It just keeps buckling. And I was just like, oh my God, how am I going to pull this one off? So I just had to like slide as hard as I could at every single time that a guy took me on. Because if I was getting taken on with the torn ACL, I couldn't even move. But if I could tackle, I could do it.
And Frankie could tackle. He also participated in 2010 qualifying. I imagine Frankie, and we're going to get into a lot of stuff here, but it just occurs to me that the old Crew Stadium, you captained the Crew, as we'll get into it.
Historic Crew Stadium, right?
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
mean, how many? When I think of you in Historic Crew Stadium, forgive me for this, I think of the Mexican assistant coach slapping you after one of the Dos a Cero games.
Yeah, dude, that's the most perfect respect as you can get. That's how pissed they were. I was like, oh man, you got to do that. And the funniest thing ever was how he did it. It was so like,
No, describe it now,
was such a perfect thing, dude. Just how he did it, and I love him for that. I'm like, dude, like this guy had that much like hate in him to do this. So I get out, me and Chingy, we do a lap around the stadium. We just did Dos a Zero. We're freaking raging. All the fans are right there. We're high fiving everyone. We get out, and I'm probably the last one off the field. Me and Chingy, I just kind of arm in arm, and all of a sudden I see this guy just come up to me, this little dude, and he's like, and he has like a credential. And I'm like, oh, does he work for the Crew? Am I going to do an interview or something? And he holds out the credential. I look down, and he's just bam, and just kind of slapped me. I was like, oh my God, dude, that's how you're going to do it? That was a cheap shot, and it was the worst little slap I've ever seen. If you're going to slap me down, bro. You know, so I was laughing at it. It was funny, and we all knew that was going to happen right before the game, you know. So we frustrated him that much that the assistant coach had to wait for 20, maybe 30 minutes, because I was on the field for a good 30 minutes after that game for him to slap me. So I'm like, hey, was that good, bro? Because all I know is I'm going to party and have beers with the boys, and know you're going back to your hotel, and you're going to just be sitting with your head between your legs. So I didn't care. We knew Mexican fans, and we knew the Mexico team was, if we beat them, there is a disrespect against us. And we knew we were going to get disrespected.
Wait, did you just say disrespect and
Well,
disrespected?
hey, why did you not? Why do you think I said that?
Well, what's your favorite website, Frankie? The
Disrespect.
disrespect.
Get on there. Go
That's
look
right.
it up. Hey, there's Dunks, dude. Yeah, Dunks. What's up, dude?
Sorry I'm late, fellas. Kids, man. Kids.
I like that jersey, dude.
I wouldn't know.
You know
about-
what? It's
I don't
my
have
New
any kids.
Zealand, my New Zealand with
Dude.
US type color jersey.
I
bro.
love that, dude. Where'd you get that thing?
Respect on the number 2, Dukes.
Oh, I love it, dude. How'd you get that?
This was our 3rd jersey one year. So I pulled it deep out of the closet for you, buddy.
Thanks, dude. Hey, dude. Remember we were trying to look for each other's jerseys?
I know.
I was going to wear it in New Zealand. I told you. I think Alyssa boxed it. You're in a box right now, dude. I'm like, no.
My daughter wore Hey Duck too. And it was like a month ago for something. I forget what it was. Or a few months ago. And now I can't find it anywhere. But it wouldn't fit me anyway because I'm a bit bigger than I used to be,
Yeah.
man.
Well, I think she burned it and probably pissed on it, dude.
Wow. That's the disrespected right there.
There it is, totally.
You can suck my Crewcibles.
Oh, another reference. Very nice drop of the Crucible. I've already lost control of this thing, which is glorious
There's a
in its
shot.
own way. This is Duncan Outen to my left, another Crew legend. Cal State Fullerton Titan, a proud son of New Zealand, an international for the Kiwis for, a number of cycles. And like Frankie, a former Columbus Crew captain, there was a time when opponents didn't want to deal with Frankie on the flanks, and they really didn't want to deal with Duncan in the middle.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to do it either.
Now, Duncan played for his country from 2002 to 2009. He represented New Zealand, the All Whites, which is why they have a red, white, and blue jersey, I guess. But
That's it.
What's
you know,
up with that?
we mix it up. This is our flag colors, you know.
oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there you
so
go.
there's
We got a black kit, a white kit, and a couple of times we had random kits like this. And to respect the US today, I got my US socks on, and I got my all-white kit in US colors.
Did you
So
also wear number 2 for New Zealand?
I wore 2, 4, I wore 8 for a little bit. I wore a few different numbers.
Yeah,
always
I know him as Duncan 8, you know,
Yeah, that's it.
because that's one of my favorite numbers just since I met him. So I always like, if I'm like playing Keno or something, 2
Keno.
and 8 are always in there, dude.
How old are
2
you,
and-
bro?
Yeah.
Keno.
Dude, you gotta play that game, dude. I've lost so much money on that, dude. It's so fun to play.
All right, we're here to talk about Keno, Frankie. I just want to finish introducing Duncan. He's been a coach on MLS staffs in Columbus and Toronto. That was after a career with 1 cup and 3 shields. And
2 cups, bro. Don't disrespect the Open Cup, the Mahan Open Cup.
Well, I was
Come on,
about
bro.
to say, 2 MLS, 1 MLS Cup, and 1. You were on the 02 U.S. Open Cup team.
Appreciate that.
The first trophy won by the Crew. Just how good was Brian McBride?
He was useful. Yeah, he was a useful player.
We're going to talk about 2002 in a second, speaking of Brian McBride. But Duncan also coaching in the MLS, as I mentioned, with Columbus and Toronto, an analyst on local, national, and international broadcasts. Soccer and Beer, you've probably seen it, I hope.
Soccer.
And, he spends a lot of his time now as a player representative. So if you want any inside dirt, he's the guy to go to. Duncan, welcome. And Frankie, welcome too. I'm going to finish your intro here. MVP of
Nothing.
Of life.
Of nothing.
of 2 Champions League games with Bayer Leverkusen in 2000.
Oh, way back in the day, yeah.
Captain of the Crew, 2008 and 9 Supporters Shields, 2008 MLS Cup. Won a cup with LA in 2011. An original MLS player with the Tampa Bay Mutiny in 1996. He broke in when he was 7 years old.
Yeah, way back then, yeah.
Anyway, he scored one of the most iconic goals in Crew history thanks to Guillermo Barros Scalotto. Easiest goal.
The easiest goal I ever had to score, dude. Just fucking close your eyes and head the ball.
I mean, iconic because it was in the MLS Cup final, but what about when he chipped the goalie from a crazy angle? It was unreal at Crew Stadium.
Yeah, that was it.
That was an unreal goal. That's an iconic goal right there.
That was my unreal. I say that was my goal of my life, dude, right there. Yeah, and you can see it. It's somewhere out there. I think it was against New York.
Dude, who cares who it was against? It was unreal, buddy.
Yeah. And you knew I did that because I've been doing that in training nonstop because I couldn't shoot the ball hard. So I always just tried to have to chip the keeper, dude. I eventually knew I had to just fucking chip it.
He told me he was going to do it one time, and he did it one time.
He did it one time. Now, Frankie and Duncan, we talked about this on a previous episode of the Crewcible. I screwed up the sound. Thankfully, today we have Kevin Rauch here.
That was going to be my question.
No, it's you can find it out there in the internet. It's on my YouTube channel, but it's a hard listen. But the
Which
stories.
one was that? What do you mean?
You forgot already? The stories were great, and I wanted to circle back to that a little bit. I'm always curious about, and there's a lot of people here who go back to the beginning in '96, and in that era, and I'm always fascinated to hear the stories about what it was like to play for the Crew specifically, and in MLS generally during that era, because there's one reference I already had, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I reported it as somewhat truthful. But when you guys wanted a hot tub at your training facility, Clark Hunt wouldn't get it unless you chipped in. Is that?
I don't know. I think that's a good rumor. That's a good rumor that I think it's true. But yeah.
We had 2 whirlpools that acted as hot tubs before training and cold tubs after training.
Yeah.
So they transitioned during training. They emptied them out and put
Now they
cold
have
water in.
They have chefs now.
Yeah, we had a chef when we played the last 3-4 years. Frankie,
It's called Subway.
It was called Subway, Chick-fil-A, whoever would donate food.
Whoever was right next to
Chipotle.
Obet's. Remember, there was one Subway right next to Obet's, and we crushed that. They made a lot of money, I think, just off the Crew players, dude. Because
Yeah,
that's the only
seriously.
place we can eat after, dude. Now all these guys got everything you can want, from chefs to fields to you name it. But we were old school, dude, back in the day, and that's what I loved about it. It was still so rootsy, so raw, and you that brought you out as a player. It really did. It's like, man, this is all they're giving us, and you got pissed on the training field. So now I would think it'd be very hard to get pissed for these guys because they got everything they could ever want.
Well, they got a coach they didn't like, and so they just ran him out of town.
Well, the fans can do that. You're very easy.
They got omelets for breakfast and a coach. It's amazing.
The fans know. The fans know, dude. I could have told you that one.
You know what I could really use right now? A cold beer.
Yeah.
Owen. What color?
There he is.
Modelo, all right?
Sure.
Modelo?
Gracias.
Owen.
A little slow on the job today.
Modelo?
Thank you, Owen.
Now, the other thing we talked about on that previous podcast is the coalescence of a championship team in 2008. The birth of Massive was in that era, maybe just a little before. Morgan can correct me if I'm wrong, but
I'm sure he will, won't you, Morgan?
Yeah, well, Morgan knows everything about all this stuff, dude.
Morgan's kind of the man around here, isn't
No,
he?
he is, dude. He
Sorry
is.
to interrupt, Mike.
that's
Yeah.
all right.
That's how Frank and I roll. You shouldn't have sat between us. That was a really bad idea. You're in
I told the producer that, and he said,
You're in a Dukes and Dunks sandwich, buddy. This is gonna be a long hour for you, my man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long night for you, bro. And,
We
hey,
love
dude.
you, but you're the meat between our bread.
Yep. But hey, dude, Morgan is he's the man, dude. He made this thing go for so long, dude. It's so rad to see him here too, and you know, he knows. He knows. That's all I can say. You don't even need to say much more.
No,
Yeah, it's true.
I'll use that as a segue, Frankie. There is a certain supporter supply company, supportersupply.co. Check it out. But I believe they do produce T-shirts for retro screamers that say Alexi Lawless is bad for soccer. Now, you played with Alexi in 1998.
I want one.
I want two.
Yes.
You played with Alexi in France in 1998. You were a very good boy then because you got a contract with the Bundesliga team coming out of that. And I know that it's one of the few areas of your life where you're careful how you talk about it. But can you just rip on Alexi Lawless a little bit now, hearkening back to 1998?
France doesn't do that. He doesn't rip on people.
Yeah, I'm not trying to rip on anyone. But
Is he bad for soccer?
You know what? He's out there. I don't know. He's out there and doing his thing. You know, it's like, what do you want him to do? All I know, you know, it was kind of funny the other day, and I don't even say he was one of my teammates, dude. So what am I going to say? Was that a good time? Yeah, you tried to get that out. Was that a good time? I think for him and how he was acting. No, it wasn't, and he knew it, and I think he admitted to it. You know, he's like, yeah, I probably wasn't the best person in '98. It was a little bit of attitude. Whatever, all those guys were, John Hartz, you name it, all those dudes were like just a little bit too cocky for me, and I didn't care. I just wanted to play soccer and like crush them, actually. I couldn't wait to crush the guys that were talking like that. But no, dude, hey, he admitted that he was wrong there, so I really don't mind that. But
I
you tried.
got you.
Well, I'll tell you what, Zlatan, having Terry
was just
Henry and
gonna say
Zlatan
that.
next to him, Zlatan brings him down every now and again.
No,
he
did
just
you-
like,
did you
and
hear him the
Lexi,
other day? Did
like
you hear
how
him
they
the
were
other day?
looking- Yeah,
I was
Coaston.
laughing. Me and Coaston were laughing. So Coaston's my son. He was like, you know, what was Lexi talking about? He's, you know, he plays with this. Was it arrogancy? I think he said, or he played with some type of style, and Zlatan was like, the only people that say the word arrogance are the people that are ignorant. He was a good player. So he's like, dude, he crushed him right there. And I was like, oh my God, did anyone else hear that? But, dude, he was my teammate, and I'm not going to say anything
All
bad.
right. We're done with Lawless. Don't want to waste air on him.
Yeah, too much time.
Grinding gears back to that championship season of 2008. The word massive, one definition might be that everyone's against you, including ownership, other teams, front office, the general manager. You guys felt some of that too, but what was it like to coalesce under Ziggy? How did it happen? You know?
There we go, Dunks. Yeah, there you go. Cheers, bro.
guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Cheers.
You know, the Aussies don't spill their beer.
That's why he does.
The problem with them is they're all criminals. It's not their beer, they stole someone else's.
Okay, go. What was the question?
Well, it had to do with 2008 because, you know, you guys have a lot of wonderful memories of that. But the year before, the team was awful, and then it was rebuilt. Can you talk about how that team was built, Ziggy's place in all of it, and how it came together in 2008, starting with you, Duncan?
Starting with me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what's
Good.
funny?
I was gonna say I have no idea.
No, so in 2007, we did a list on the board from when Ziggy had come to the team. And I think we counted 70 plus players that had either had been on the team and gone or had come and gone in a couple of year period. So I think how that team was built, I think it was Frankie and myself were the only two left at that point. Maybe one other. Maybe Chad was there before.
Chad was there.
So I think that team was built on someone that was really good at using the MLS rules and manipulating them and getting a really strong locker room together. Yeah. And then we kind of bonded together. We bonded around Guillermo. His first year was a bit rough, and the guys kind of were iffy on him. And then they realized, hey, if we work for him, let him do his thing, we're going to have a lot of good chances every game. Robbie Rogers was a big addition that him and Guillermo bonded really well. And then you had the core group of guys, behind the flashy players like a Frankie. I don't want to call him a core group. He's far better than that. I mean, U.S. legend.
I like core. That's
but
good. That's a
just
good name.
these guys that weren't afraid to roll up their sleeves and do all the dirty work for guys to succeed. And I think it was one of those things. Hey, we want to win. We're a band of brothers. I had a party at my house, and I think one guy didn't show up from the entire squad, which is unreal.
And he got everything the next day. Believe me, his uniform. He had what's the little stuff you put in the underwear? Icy hot. Yeah, I got icy hot and his little things. Yeah, that he had to put on. So yeah, he didn't train that day for a couple days.
But you guys were junkyard dogs, Frankie. I mean, and part of that was Ziggy.
He is. Yeah, no, he's a.
Rest in peace,
That's him, dude. That guy, he is a journeyer. He's a traveler, especially in MLS. I mean, he had it made at UCLA, and he could have stayed there forever. And he took a chance and, hey, man, I want to be a pro, and I'm going to be a pro coach and do this MLS thing. And man, he did it all, dude. He really did. And what he did, I think, was find a bunch of players that every other team got rid of. Danny O'Rourke, New York got rid of him. Alejandro Moreno, they got rid of him. Eddie Gavin. So you had a bunch of guys with chips on your shoulders that were ready to rock and were pissed and were ready to go. And I don't know if I have a chip on my shoulder. I just kind of play like that every day. But dude, these guys came in with like an attitude, and I don't think anyone was ready for that. Like how many people really. Cared about that a team just got rid of him and let me prove it the next year. So he just got all these misfits that no one else wanted, and he's like, God, they're probably going to have a chip on their shoulder. And he found the right mix of dudes that were all tough, ready. Adam Moffat, freaking Duncan, myself. Like, dude, we were all a bunch of tough dudes, dude. Even Alejandro Moreno, dude. He was like just a tough freaking guy, dude. There wasn't, I think there was probably 25 tough guys and 2 not.
Alejandro's quote, "Do what you do," was kind of like the quote, like, "Hey, everyone, just do what you do." That's like you don't need to be flashy. Just work together and do what you do.
Totally, we're not that
Teams
good.
hated playing us. That was the key. Teams hated. They loved hanging out with us, but they hated playing us.
After the games, it was money because they all loved us. After we just schooled them, we'd take them all out to all the bars. But dude, it was 3-1. You guys lost, but hey, let's go have a good time.
Now, when did Schelotto start to get it? Because he came here and he was 34 years old or whatever, and thought he could, jog around like Messi.
I think he always got it. I think we got him. It took us time to get him. So I think it was the group understood him and it's like, hey, he doesn't need to defend. He doesn't need to work like the rest of us. We have to do a little bit extra. Everyone give another 5%, and we'll make up for that and let him do what he does. Yeah. Like, again, back to that quote, do what you do. Like, hey, Guillermo, you do what you do. We'll make it work for you, around you, and you set up goals. You score goals.
Dude, at the same time, though, we did let him know, like, hey, dude, this isn't a prance around thing. You got a bunch of dudes that are pissed off that we haven't had a championship in years. A bunch of guys that all their teams got rid of, and now here comes this guy. And I was hard on him in the beginning. Duncan knows that.
Yeah,
dude.
for sure.
We all were. We were like, dude, this isn't a cruising around deal. Like, we're all trying to win our first championship. I didn't win a first championship yet, and I've been playing for 17 years as a professional. So there was that moment for us that we gave it to him. Like that 07 year, I think I gave it to him like as many times as I could. Like in terms of like, dunks, you know, like, hey, dude, get back. I'm not gonna run for you. I just made a 70-yard run. You didn't give me the ball. And then I'll get pissed at him. And eventually, he got it so fast when we really started, like, going, dude, we're not.
Just so you're clear, Frankie didn't say it like that. Like, hey, dude, get back. No, there was a few other words in there, too. And a bit of phlegm flying and all that good stuff. But, hey, that's what you expect from a leader and someone that gives a crap about how the team's doing.
Well, I knew that guy needed a something, dude. I'm like, dude, you're not here on vacation, dude. And I think he got it really quick. That's the thing that I noticed about him, and I love that about him. I'm like, damn, dude, he wasn't gonna take any shit. He knew.
That core group we mentioned, I think Ziggy was good at putting that together, and it brought in. We could have pushed out like Guillermo, Gino, that with the core group, but we decided it was best to bring him in because we could win, and we brought him in and made him part of that core group, and good friends, like all that.
Lots of barbecues.
Lots of barbecues.
Yeah.
All the good stuff, and make them feel like part of the family. So then when you have a go at them, it's all for love. It's all for winning. It's not I'm having a go at you because I don't like you. It's I'm having a go at you because I want to win. And I think that core group that Ziggy got together was really important for that championship. And I think that was based around a guy like Frankie, a guy that, had big bollocks and wasn't afraid and was willing to lead by example and call it out. And it was a pleasure playing on that team.
More so on the field, right? Because the media didn't like me that year. Remember, I think I took a year off, right? Arace or something.
Did I rip you? I didn't rip you, did I?
No, you didn't. You didn't.
I never questioned your balance.
Nick's beer's on a race.
I thought that one.
The next one too. You remember you gave Frankie a hard time, man. Come on.
No, I didn't.
I think you did. I think someone else did. But I was like, well, dude, I ain't talking to you guys.
You know
for a
who
while.
it was? It was Mertz.
Next beer is on Owen. That's fine.
Thank you, Owen.
I'm always fascinated to hear the background things. We as fans or media or whatever, those of us who are out there watching you guys play, watching Scalotto was something else. Even if you couldn't explain it, you knew you were in the presence of something special. But behind the scenes, you guys saw him every day, and were on the field with him when he was doing these magical things. How good was he, and how would you quantify that, either anecdotally or otherwise?
I don't even know what anecdotally means. But I will say, dude, that guy, he knew how to adapt really quick.
When did you know that?
Locker room, because he was a locker room guy. He never did anything bad. Like,
what did he do in the locker room? That would be an anecdote.
If we would make fun or do something, he was laughing. He was right in there with us. He was engaged. He was, if we would play a prank on someone, he was laughing his butt off. So
But on the field, Duncan, there was that supercomputer he had to see the field and react. As old as he was, all that was still there. I mean, I always was fascinated by the quick throws or the quick free kicks. He was always ahead of everyone else on the field. Do you remember any plays where even you went like, whoa, dude?
I think every game there was something he did that was like, okay, wow. I mean, he would know he knew players around him well too. So he knew Robbie was exceedingly fast. Yeah. So he'd just see the space opening up in behind, and the ball would come to him from, say, Frankie at the right side, and he'd just get it, turn, and hit it into that space. He wouldn't even look over his shoulder. He'd already know it was there, and Robbie would be in behind with one pass into the midfield from Frankie, and then a turn and switch, and then on with his back to goal, the ball at his feet, he was so good at just finding space to turn out and slip little balls through.
How small he was. He wasn't this big guy.
He was a fire
Alejandro could stop people.
He was a bull. He was a bull.
And no one was pushing him over, and that's why he could fall and do that. But Guillermo, man, his balance and how he knew how to bump into people and when to bump into them and how to turn it so quick, and then he would always have that nutmeg pass where he would turn the guy No, and then the defender would go to try to get it, and he would just play it through either to Eddie Gavin, to me, to Robbie Rogers, and it was, dude, there was so many nutmegs that he would play, so he would see, and to do a nutmeg, it's not easy, dude. I haven't done many of them in my life. I got a few on them against me, and I don't know if they live anymore. I don't know if they live anymore after that, because if you nutmeg me, the next tackle, you're going down, but dude, he could just see it, so there was there's like a 0.5 seconds where you can see that leg go out to try to block a ball, and he could just, boom, put it through the legs.
Now, what I was kind of driving at was like, I once asked Eddie Gavin, who didn't necessarily have the same soccer supercomputer as Guillermo, and about...
Yeah, he did. He just didn't care to do it.
Yeah, he was.
What he said was, in explaining Scalotto, he said, well, he tells me to go over there. So I go over there, and when I get there, the ball's there.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Eddie Gavin, though, Eddie was a guy, he's quietly, he was an unreal player. He knew where to be himself. He knew where to find goals. He knew where space was. Eddie was a guy, I think, that in my opinion,
underrated, dude.
Got away. Yeah,
All right,
he was unreal.
In the pantheon of crew greats, from Brian McBride to Cucho Hernandez, where do you? What's from your view as someone who's been? And by the way, you guys are civic treasures here in Columbus. Given your service to the crew, your national teams, your knowledge of the game, your prominence in the sport, and your place here in Columbus. But given your place, where do you put Guillermo in that echelon?
Of what?
Of the greatest players in crew history.
On top.
See, I view it.
It's right there.
I'm gonna say something.
Stern,
People might
John.
think I'm crazy. Yeah. So there's guys
Stern
like Bry, right? Bry was unreal. He was the most unselfish player I think I played with. I'd be in trouble playing it right back. Before Dukes got there, I played right back a few times, and I'd be in big under pressure, and I'd just lump one down the line, and he'd make it look good. He'd work his ass off to make it look like a good ball. And so for me, him going and having the career he had in England, he has to be way up there. There's not many guys that get a bar named after them in Premier League, that American especially. And then a guy like Frankie, he won't say it, but I'll say it. You don't go play at Leverkusen through that era they had, with some of the best players in the world. What were you guys 1 year, Frank's runner-up Champions League, runner-up league, runner-up cup,
runner-up everything.
That runner-up everything.
Number two, that's fine with me. Number two.
That's unreal. So I think in terms of listing off the best players in crew history, if you're saying who played the best for the crew, I think Cucho's in the conversation. I think, a Diego, those guys are in the conversation. If you're saying the best players, national team careers and stuff, I mean, look, you got to go Frankie and McBride. That's it. Like, Guillermo is right there, obviously top of the list, best crew careers.
Yeah.
But if you're going all-encompassing football, Frankie and McBride are right there. Bobby Varzija's probably up there with his Polish stuff and how he did with Columbus. I'm just taking a different perspective here because we got to look outside a bigger lens than just in Columbus. We're talking about the World Cup right now, guys.
Yeah,
This dude over here to my right, not you, buddy. That guy. How many World Cups were you part of, my man?
I just said,
it was three. It was three because the third one you got named in the team.
You were late.
And then me and you.
We already covered that.
You covered Mellow Mushroom, Frankie and I.
No.
We didn't cover that.
Okay. That's a whole different.
That was the best World Cup I've ever had.
Yeah, dude, that was fun, bro.
The one Frankie sat out with an ACL.
He had an ACL. I didn't get chosen last minute.
That was the Mellow Mushroom.
It was 7 a.m. Mellow Mushroom World Cup. We had like 10 days off, and we spent, I think, 8 of those 10 days.
At the I think we slept there, dude. We had a beer. We had a full bed there, remember? What's his name?
Yeah, Colby.
Kobe.
We had free run of the beer taps till midday or 11 o'clock when they actually opened up.
God.
The chef made us a bowl of bacon one day. He made us.
Dude,
It was so healthy.
that was the best.
It was
time
the
ever.
worst.
And there was like 15 dudes there. They were like, "Yeah, we just show up," and then they were raging, and it was beer on them. And
We supported
had-
New Zealand. We supported US hard out. I wore the Duke's jersey. I squeezed into it. He wore the Alton
I wore
jersey.
the
Plenty
Alton
of room
jersey.
for him. That's when I knew I was retiring at the end of that season. Right at that point in time, I knew I was done.
Now here we are today at Bud Dairy.
But dude,
Wonderful
Bud
hosts.
Dairy.
Wonderful hosts.
wonderful. This is great, dude.
But we're here doing this live pod, and we're going to have a watch party here for the U.S.-Australia game. And as you look out and take stock of just this room, but even Columbus in general and the United States even in a grander scheme of things, what are your thoughts on the game as compared to, say, 2006 in the United States? I mean, to my mind, it's extraordinary what's happened, and this is kind of part and parcel of it. Any thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Yeah, I think now the generation of like the parents now, like Frankie and I, all played football. You can call it soccer. I'll call it football.
It's played with their foot. Yeah, no, it's played with your foot.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know why
So
we call it.
they all-
That's
they-
why I never understand like football for like NFL football. Why do they call it football?
Where you throw and catch.
Where you
It's
throw it.
weird,
It should be
eh?
called catch ball. Like, why
yeah.
is it not? Why just because they run with their feet? It's like, doesn't everyone run with their feet?
Don't
you
go all
got me here.
year.
Yeah, we got you on that one already.
Yeah,
Come
we
on,
got you.
America.
That's supposed to
No,
soccer.
on, America.
look,
Soccer.
it's
Say soccer.
soccer.
That's right.
All the
Which is a slang term originally from England, meaning association football. All right.
Well,
there you go, slang. Why
how
are we
much?
using slang?
How much
Oh,
time?
you don't use any slang or curse words, do you?
Hell no.
Dude, I actually looked up like how much the players actually use their foot in football. It's like not even a second
jeez.
because it's
You
only
went-
the punters. It's only the punters that
Have another Molson. Jeez.
Frankie didn't even need to look that up. That's pretty.
This is true, and you can look this up, but the first bladder soccer ball came out of the Firestone Company in Akron, Ohio in the 19th century.
Wow. Why are you calling it a soccer ball?
That's what it is.
A football.
In Akron,
with your
it's a
foot.
soccer ball. And
What
Canton
sport?
will tell you what a
What
football
sport
is.
came out first?
Well,
I don't know.
Soccer and baseball were about the same.
And then no, but football was before.
Oh, no, football was after.
Yeah, so they took the name from soccer.
Frankie, you grew up in California.
I'm a surfer, dude.
I know. So you shouldn't even
No,
be
I've
talking
just been
about
always confused by that. I've
But anyway,
been always confused
this.
by
The growth of football.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, I understand.
Oh, that's good.
We're in America. I'll call it soccer.
Soccer ball. Soccer
All
ball.
right, let's just skip that. And we'll get to some World Cup stuff.
He didn't like that. You know,
I'll
'cause
tell you what, he doesn't
knows
like being
we're
the
right.
meat. He doesn't like
he
being the
knows
meat in the
we're right.
sandwich.
No,
He doesn't like being the
doesn't.
meat in the sandwich.
He's like, yeah, he doesn't know why they call it football. He's like, I don't know
Look,
why we
you
call it
can
football.
slap him after for putting you in the middle.
Well, no, that's Kevin Rauch. I'd never raise your hands on him. He's a wonderful man.
Oh, thank you, Kevin,
And
for
he's
being
doing
Thanks,
this
wonderful.
Kevin.
gratis. He's
Yeah,
doing this
Kevin.
gratis.
But Kevin?
His son Alex and he are doing a great job. I couldn't have done this. I screwed the sound up the first time I tried to talk to you guys.
Dude, you're lucky we're here, actually. Me and Duncan's like, dude, this is his last chance, bro.
Morgan gave you a 10% chance of showing up.
Yeah. Well,
10%.
Dude, yeah, it was tough, dude. I barely got here. Luckily, I got a little parking spot, so I was super stoked. But now I got a ticket on there. But whatever, I'll charge you that to the Disrespected podcast.
Frankie, I wanted to, before we get into previewing today's game with both you guys, because I know you're a big fan of Australia, Duncan.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you about your World Cup experiences, particularly 2002. I had Greg Berhalter on the previous episode of the Crewcible podcast. And one question I asked him, and we kind of talked a little bit about this morning, I said, U.S. soccer's been around since around, 1930-ish? Something like that. We'll say that first World Cup, maybe a little before then. And as soon as the United States beat Paraguay 4-1 in their first group stage game Friday, a week ago today, it was immediate maybe it was just a social media amplification or whatever, but the immediate response was, oh, that was the greatest half ever played in the history of the U.S. men's national team. And I was like, maybe we should take a little stock here. And I asked Greg about that.
Park the brakes.
And he's way more nicer than you. He just said, well, Portugal 2002. And then he went on to say because his kid played in the game Friday, so he went on to say what a great half that was. But your thoughts of 2002. You guys came out and you were up 3-0 on Portugal.
Which was the number 1 team in the world at that point, by the way.
And were you in South Korea or?
Which, no, you're like, oh, the greatest half. I'm like, we were playing Paraguay.
This wasn't Paraguay.
No.
Yeah, this is Portugal.
The greatest half of soccer to me was Portugal, U.S.
And it was 3-1 at the half, just like the Paraguay game, right?
Yep.
And you started all 5 of those World Cup games. That was a fascinating World Cup for a couple of reasons. One of them, which might be the fact that was the deepest the U.S. ever went.
Yeah. I think they went in like 1930. They went, to the semis.
Yeah.
But that was. I think there was 12 teams in the World Cup then. I don't even know. But
But group stage, Frankie, you beat Portugal 3-2, and you hung on at the end.
Yeah,
to
totally.
be fair. And then tie with South Korea, and then you lost to Poland, and you needed help to get out of group, which you did. What happened between the loss to Poland and the game against Mexico, which was the round of 16 and one of the first editions of the legendary Dos a Cero series?
Yeah, you know what? I talk about this often to people, like maybe not in the media, but I don't know why.
I'm in the media,
Yeah. I don't know why the
Disrespected
2002 team is so disrespected.
Oh,
the only thing I hear about is a 94 World Cup team, and I understand it's in America now. It's in America, got it. But even before then, it was a 94 World Cup team. Landon Donovan's goal in the last little second against whoever. It's like, dude, we made the quarterfinals, and literally no one talks about the 2002 World Cup team, of which Bruce Arena, one of the most gifted and respected guys in U.S. soccer, said was his best team ever. No one talks about that team. Have you ever heard about the 2002 World Cup team in this whole World Cup? I haven't heard one person talk about it.
Well, if you watch the previous episode of the Crewcible with Greg Berhalter, we talk about it.
Yeah, because that's
and
different.
if you go to the disrespected.com, there is video highlights of the quarterfinal game against Germany, which, I don't know, you guys hit a couple posts, you whiffed out, and you lost 1-0. Germany scores late in the first half, and then late in the game on a corner, Claudio Reyna corner kick in to Greg Berhalter, who puts a volley on net, and it gets by the goalie. And
obviously handball. He goes like this. You see him on the post, and he goes like that. It hits his hand.
Oh, it hit him straight in the hand.
Yeah.
It didn't even hit his arm.
No.
He batted it out. And it might have been over the line, but no VAR then. And you guys were that close to a semifinal appearance.
Everyone jumped in the air like we just scored. It was like, what? And then it just didn't happen. It was like, what the heck just went wrong? So we are honest. We went toe-to-toe with one. At that point, Germany was a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Like they always.
Well, they made it to the finals and lost to Brazil. Yeah,
they all, and we arguably played better than them that game. We arguably beat our biggest rival in Mexico 2-0. The main thing that anyone that you can imagine is U.S.-Mexico in a World Cup.
In a knockout round.
And you know what no one talks about? That we beat them in that round. They talk about the 94 team, and this team, and that team. I'm like, dude, am I just like, am I missing something here? Because that 2002 team was literally the best team U.S. soccer has ever had.
From a fan's perspective, just watching from the outside.
Now, were you on Happy Mushrooms then, watching that?
I was not in Magic Mushroom at that point in time. A pizza shop / bar, not what you're thinking, Mike. It was a team that they were so hard to beat. Watching that U.S. team, they had the dog in them. They were a team of guys that they were beasts. I mean, look, a guy that spent a little bit of time in Columbus, Tony Sana.
Yeah.
he was a beast that World Cup. Franks was tossed over on the left and was an absolute beast that World Cup. I mean, you guys had a team that was unreal.
Landon was about to peak. He was just on his way up. Beasley, they were just coming off the Olympic teams, and then they were the new guys on the team. Yeah, you had McBride, a freaking stud already, like, you know. And
it was a well-balanced team of guys that wanted to win, wanted to prove the world wrong.
I mean, dude, we told you had Friedel and Keller and goal. I mean, you name that team. You had Pablo Mastroeni, he was just a beast, and he just got called up because Chris Armas got injured, and Pablo was a beast. John O'Brien. They had a tournament of talent. He was playing for Ajax, and all these guys half of us were all playing in Europe. I was playing for Leverkusen, playing in Champions Leagues every week, and half of them were playing in MLS. But the 12 that were playing in Europe were all peaking, and the 12 that were playing in MLS were all peaking. And no one even talks about that. Dude, it's so weird. It's the weirdest thing to me. It's almost like that team got blackballed. Like, I haven't heard one message about the 2002 World Cup team that made us the furthest we've ever made it since 1930. Like, and no one they just keep on talking about 94.
Frankie, so we're talking about it here.
Back to the original thing, that first half that the US team played, right? Because let's go current, this World Cup.
Right.
I think it was a really, really, really good half. I think the expectations were lower because they haven't been playing that well leading up to it. But I would say it's up there with some of the best football the US have played in.
That's fair.
At any point in time. But when you start comparing to matches and games and all that, like the reason I thought it was so good was they were relentless on Paraguay. They didn't let Paraguay have space, time. They pressured them. They made Paraguay look like crap. And Paraguay are not crap. And Pulisic in the first half he's an X factor.
Yeah.
It's like a Dempsey was, like a Landon was back in 2002.
Totally.
Like those guys that just can unlock stuff. And and when he went off in the second half, I mean, look, Greg, I respect Greg, whatever, but the first half was 1,000 times better than the second half. They did what they needed to in the second half because the first half was so good. Go back to 2002. That team, you guys, how fit were you guys, Dukes?
Oh my God!
You guys must have been the fittest US team that's ever been. You guys were unreal.
We had a bunch of guys that were just ready to win, dude. We wanted to be as fit as we can. We knew that it was going to take more than soccer skills to make it past the next round. So what's more than soccer skills? You got to be fitter than the other team. You have to have the heart, more heart than the other team. You have to be like absolutely on top of your peak game of how much you can run. And that's all we did, dude. We just ran. We ran, and we had a good game plan, man. We dropped and countered. I always say this, dude.
Oh, here we go.
Hard to beat.
We did not play beautiful soccer in that 02 World Cup. It was like, but you know what we had? A coach that knew what we had. He knew we had Beasley. He knew we had Landon. We had Eddie Lewis on the left. We had fast wingers and guys that can get forward. Let's drop. Let's take the pressure. We have a fast right back, a fast left back, two guys in the middle that are tall and beasts. We're not going to get scored on that often. And that's how we did it. We dropped and we went boom. My goal, like, dude, I remember Bruce Arena just going, Frankie, you're playing on the left side. You never played there in your whole life. I haven't played left back one time. You're in a World Cup. I get it. He goes, just get it and pass it to Beasley. And I was like, thank you, coach. That's all I wanted to hear. Because the quicker I can get it off my foot, the happier. Let me just get it off my foot and run. Other than that, I don't want the ball on my foot. Let's get it on the other guys that can do all that stuff. I knew my game.
A good transition, Frankie. I think it's fair to say that team was very American, and we get back to what you always talk about, especially when it comes to CONCACAF games. Was okay. You got to let them at least know you're here. That this is going to be a physical game, and that you're not going to go away. I think that Mauricio Pochettino has tapped into that American identity. Duncan, don't watch TV while we're on the air.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the dirty Aussies.
The Dirty Aussies. Well, we're gonna
Love every
have to-
team that's playing against
But
them.
I think Pochettino has tapped into that kind of American soccer identity, which in Europe they call a football identity, or if you have your finger in the air. And he just said, this is who you are, and go out and play.
Yeah.
What do you think of Pac and the job that he's done? All of a sudden, he's a genius.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm like, dang, dude. So I don't know if he took this whole time to like really assess everyone and go, whoa, this is really kind of who we are, or whatever, because I don't really necessarily think we were playing great coming up to this World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think almost the opposite. Thank you so much. Yeah, can I get 2 more too? Thanks, dude.
Love twos.
Yeah.
Have a shroom, Frankie.
Yeah. So I didn't. I don't know. It wasn't like, oh God, this was expected. This was a surprise
But this
to
is,
me.
But
as
this is a
fan.
top. I mean, you're talking about a top coach that
Yeah.
his focus wasn't the warm-up games. It wasn't any of that. It was being ready for game one
He
of
was.
the World Cup. This is
Totally.
a proper coach. This
Yeah.
is not, we need to peak in every game we play. We need to peak in the World Cup. We're here to win the World Cup. That was his job. And look, is it a task that's easy? Hell no. Is it a task that's possible? Everyone has a chance.
That's right.
But I mean, what they did is they set a platform for themselves now that you realistically you're in the second round. You win your first game significantly, you're in the second round, and that's what they need. They just need, hey, win the group now. Hopefully, beat Aussie today. You probably win the group with your goal difference, and
Right.
you should, even if you lose the third, and then you've got an easier matchup in the next game in the knockout round, and this team has a chance. They won that game. That was such an important game, and I guarantee you, his focus, everything leading up to it, was who gives a shit about the game before, the game before that, the game before that. It was for that game, and I think we saw flashes of it in the Germany game. I think the US was very good in that
They
game.
were last friendly.
I don't think they were their best,
Yeah.
but they were really good.
Lost 1-0, played very well.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about today's game a little bit. Huge game because not guaranteed to go through depending on what happens today, and Australia is going to present them with a lot of problems.
That'll be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, how so? Technically speaking, how is Australia going to be a pain in the ass? And I think for those who want to get a quick read in prior to the game, if you go to thedisrespected.com, today's free column does break down 5 ways how Australia can be a pain in the ass for the United States.
Duncan knows about it. He's played against them a lot of times. So
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what they've come to this World Cup to do is be hard to beat. They understand they're not the best team in the World Cup. It looks like that, and they were. What did they have? 28% possession in the first game.
Didn't matter.
I mean, doesn't matter. You just defend like dogs. You put 5 in the back, 3 big center backs. You win everything in your own box defensively,
They did.
and you break. And they did a great job of it, and they deserved every bit of that. And they are going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, and
and
you-
that's the thing in the World Cup. That's where New Zealand, in my opinion, screwed up. That was a great opportunity to win the first game. You win that game, you move on to the next round. We tied 2-2 with Iran.
2-2 with Iran, yeah.
And if we had been really hard to beat, I think we would have won that game 3-0, 3-1. Don't want to disrespect my country, but now we've got to beat either Egypt or Belgium, which is harder than beating Iran.
Frankie,
So,
yep, I'm sorry.
US, I think they've got it. I think they'll win it.
Can they break them down?
They'll
That's the
break him
question.
down. Pulisic stays healthy. They'll
No,
break.
he's not
they'll break
healthy.
him down.
That's the thing. It was,
He's
just,
not
it
on?
was just announced that Pulisic is out today.
You've got other guys that can do the job. I still think they're good enough to break him down. They'll get a chance. They have to score. They'll get multiple chances. They've got to put one in, and then they have to have what that 2002 Frankie Haydock U.S. national team had, and that's they have to defend like dogs.
Now, Frankie, Australia has some incredible speed on the flanks and up top, and there's a 75-year-old center back, Tim Ream.
He was
back-
good first game.
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, I don't mind that. This guy, he doesn't lose balls, man. He's just solid. He's
got
solid
the he's
as a
got
rock.
the,
Yes,
he's got the
Morgan.
bollocks.
Yeah, he's not. Nothing seems to phase him. Yeah, there you go, Morgan. Like that. There he goes.
No, go ahead. Give us your preview of this game coming up at 3 o'clock. watch party here at Bud Dairy, so get down here.
Let's go, but there.
You'll find a parking spot. Frankie did.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know.
His was 10 minutes away. Idiot.
I ran.
He loves running.
Dude, no, it's going to be they're going to play what they call a low block, which is just like they just drop and they counter. They have fast guys, and you saw it against whoever they just played, I forget. But, man, it's going to be us in possession. If you look at the game when we played them, a few months ago, dude, that was a dogfight, man. There was bad. So Australia's not going to make it easy on a bunch of American players. They're a bunch of brawlers. They like to play hard. They like to play rough.
Criminals.
Duncan calls them criminals. You know that.
Well, I mean, that is the history of Australia.
Yeah,
England
but,
just dropped their criminals off there. Right?
Sorry. Yes, correct.
It's definitely not going to be
Not New Zealand, though, right?
No.
It's not going to be an easy one, dude. Not going to be an easy one. If we score early like we did the last game, it could go a different way. But man, these guys are going to come play. They're all fighters. They're all battlers. They're not taking any shit from any American guy. They don't care about that. They're ready to go, dude. They're ready to fight. So
you like your team today,
for
Frankie?
me, this was the biggest game. Even though that first game is always the biggest one. I put the little asterisk around Australia because they're just tough and they match up against us, kind of how we play a little bit, or at least how we used to play. Now we're trying to play a little bit like more, pretty soccer. But this is a team that's not going to be easy to beat.
Sorry.
Nothing wrong with the word. You live in America now.
Even your president said change it. And that's about the smartest thing he's ever said. That's the only smart thing he's ever said. Sorry. Excuse me.
So you like the United States. The question is, can they break down Australia's low block?
Yes, definitely.
Can they do it without Christian Pulisic?
I mean, it's going to be difficult because, I mean, he looked like Maradona the last game. He really did, man. He was like, I'd never seen him play like that. And I haven't seen him play in a long time, so I can't, but, he plays over in Italy. He's toying over there.
If form holds, Frankie, then Sebastian Berhalter, who came in for Pulisic at the start of the second half of the first group stage game when Pulisic was injured, if form holds, and I haven't seen the lineup, but Seb Berhalter will be in there.
No problem.
I don't think that would be the starting.
I think it'd be Tyler Adams. I think Tyler. Yeah, they'll put Tyler Adams in there. I think
they wouldn't like that was because they were winning comfortably, and it was like let's hold the match.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I think you'll see Tyler Adams in there.
All right, we got 1 minute here, fellas. First, I want to thank Duncan Outen, the pride of New Zealand, and Frankie Haydock, the pride of outer space, for being here today at Bud Dairy.
That's all I had to do this was just a couple beers. Dude, next time you need me to do this, I'll do it again, dude. I can only do it for one beer.
I'm disappointed in us, Franks. We only had 2 beers in an hour. That's ridiculous.
It's
That's
really
poor form.
The game hasn't even started yet.
I said I parked. I really didn't park. I had like 12 beers right before I went on the Uber.
All right.
I made him drive around Columbus for a while.
Tell everyone there's plenty of good parking still available.
Yep.
All right,
good
there
parking.
we go.
Good parking.
I'm Michael Arace from thedisrespected.com. Check out my podcast, The Crucible, which this is one of, and Cannonballs at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other pod platforms. Go to thedisrespected.com. Jump over the little paywall. These guys are both subscribers. And we'll talk to you again soon. For Kevin Rauch, Kevin Rauch of C-Bus Sports, where this appeared in a live stream. Wonderful website. Check it out. And Kevin and I are going to be teaming up to do more stuff in the future. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, everyone here at Bud Dairy, and thanks for Bud Dairy.
Let's go, US! Let's go!
USA!
Beat the criminals! Beat the criminals!